This is an item that every single person out there can find. It's something everybody has laying around the house, and it's something that can make you a ton of money if you pay attention. Hey, it's Don. Today we're looking at something that every single person out there has opportunity to find. It's something that I personally look at every day of my life. We're talking about coins, pocket change right now. Stuff that everybody has laying around in your sofa, on the floor. It's something that I look at every single day of my life. We found coins in our pockets worth thousands of dollars before. I find coins that are worth 50 to 100 bucks quite often. I look, though, at every single coin I acquire. We even go down to the bank sometimes and buy bank boxes of rolled coins and pull out silver quite often. But today we're talking specifically about modern day era coins that are in circulation right now that can sell for hundreds if not thousands of dollars. Now this is one area where people can't say they'll never find these because we find them. Most people I know who actually look for these in their pocket change can find some rarities quite often. There's billions of coins printed every single year, and thousands of them are printed wrong or have issues with them. So they're all over the place. Any state, any place you go, these could turn up. Now, some do show up more frequently in certain areas, say a Denver minted coin showing up in Denver, or Philadelphia coin in Philadelphia, San Francisco, West Point. It just depends on the U.S. Mint that stamped them out. Now, one of the most sought-after types of era coins right now in modern-day coins are the ones that were stamped out on the wrong type of metal. This is a 1965 90% silver quarter. Now what's wrong with that is that 1964 is the last year the federal government printed coins in silver because the value of silver was over the value of the coin itself. Now some were accidentally stamped on the wrong planchet, and a planchet is the blank unstamped coin. It's just smooth metal basically on both sides, and a silver planchet fell into the presses and a 1965 silver coin was minted. This is very rare because they weren't supposed to exist. This should have been pulled out of circulation before it, but it looks just like the other ones other than the side view. If you flip this coin on the side, you'll see that it's solid and not clad. It doesn't have a layer of silver on top and bottom with copper or an alloy in the middle. It's solid all the way through. It's the easiest way to tell if these are vintage silver or not. Planchet errors can be found on any type of coin, anything. I found a quarter that was stamped on a 10-cent planchet before. It was really thin and it wasn't as big as it should have been. I've also found a nickel that was stamped out on a penny planchet in my pocket change before. These are items that sold for thousands of dollars. So if you pay attention, you look really hard at every single coin, you can make some money. This is something I've done for 20 plus years. When me and my wife worked at Disney, we would find foreigners who would bring in coins from other countries, old silver as well. We had some from Japan that brought in some commemorative silver half dollars that we got and were sold for a ton of money. So you've got to be diligent. The money is out there. Now another error are clipped coins or corner clips. This is where the coin is actually cut off for some reason. Maybe it was stamped on a partial planchet or anything like that. Maybe it was stamped a couple of times and one cut it off when it was slammed down. It just depends on what the error is. This is something though that you can find. I found clipped coins in currency, in rolled change especially. It's usually the best place to find it, or say in a bag of mint coins straight from the mint. That's where a lot of people do find these. They'll buy tons of these and go through tens of thousands of coins looking for that one diamond in the rough, something like this. Now this one's slabbed, it's graded. That's a plus on these, just like in every other category we've been talking about. Right now, what is super hot are graded ones. People are using these as investments now because of the volatile nature of the stock market right this moment. This one went for some insane amounts of money, as you can see. Something someone probably picked up in their pocket. Now, one of the biggest areas are the state quarters. Wisconsin is one we've made thousands of dollars off. The Wisconsin quarter, just the ones you find out in circulation, there's 3 different varieties of errors that have an extra leaf on the back of it. Pick one up and look at the back and you'll see some leaves. Those leaves have more of them on certain versions of that exact same coin. So if you check your coins and you compare, say, the Wisconsin one, you can find a coin that may be worth a few $100s, not even slabbed. They constantly sell on eBay. Here's a new modern day 1985. Someone found an error in these, and there's people out there that just compare coins over and over and over again. They make a lot of money doing it. It may take them a couple hours, but they're getting $1,500 for this error here. It's one that's new. It's one that was just discovered. It's some of the leaves you see down there, and I would gather the wreath or olive branch at the bottom. It's a rather interesting error. It's something you can find. This is a 1985 quarter. These are all still in circulation. Now, like the quarter that we found that was stamped on a dime planchet. Here's one that was stamped on a silver dime planchet, a quarter stamped on a silver dime planchet. So it's the wrong size. There's not enough metal there to actually produce a quarter. So they're really, really thin. They're faded off in the edges. Each one I've personally seen look a little different, but it's basically the same thing. They're really thin. That's the biggest, easiest way to distinguish one of them. Again, it depends on the planchet. Some quarters were stamped on nickels. Now, another type of error is a double die error. That's where the die has stamped down on the planchet several times and has almost mirrored some of them. Sometimes you'll see like a reflection almost, it looks like, of another set of part of the coin's features, like the lettering on it. Usually it's in the lettering. There's a very famous one in 1955 penny, and you can see two 55s basically, one right on top of each other, just slightly offset. Now there's many books that cover these, just these types of things that you can find in your pocket change. But just a simple search on eBay, you can make yourself a list as well. There's thousands of errors out there right this very minute, going back as far as coins have been minted. And it doesn't matter the country. Most countries have similar issues just like the US Mint does. When you print billions of something, the chances of errors are fairly high, at least in a small percentage of them. This one here is a double die. You can see it on the face as well, the E's, the R's. There's a double impression of them, slightly echoing the first ones. If you want to get a better look at them, look these up on eBay. These are actual prices of what these literally go for. So if you want to make some money, you got the opportunity. Everybody does. This is in your pocket right now, possibly. Here's an example of a few of the Wisconsin errors right here. And if you look at the corn right there on the back, there are extra leaves on certain spots of it. There's a high one, a low one, and a middle one. So somewhere down the line, the die may have been damaged or something, and they redid it, and they accidentally added something that wasn't supposed to be there. You can see the PCSG tag here. It lists an extra leaf on both of them. These two slabbed went for $800. Chances are whoever got these only paid a quarter for these. We found a bunch of them when they first came out and were first announced. Now, nobody was looking for these errors when they first came out. It was only those in the know, those who dug into this sort of thing for a while, who knew about it. So we found a bunch of them. We swapped out coins at the bank constantly and got a mess of these and made a ton of money. And we're still making money on these as well. This one's a quarter stamped out on a penny. It's the wrong color. It's copper. It's the wrong size. It's too small. It's not enough metal from a penny to make a quarter. So it's almost always smaller and not the whole image of the quarter. $795 for this one here. Here's something a little different. This is a proof Wyoming quarter. Now, proof means that it was stamped basically twice, and it's got a crystal clear image. It's almost a mirror finish in the background. It looks much different. It's a frosted look almost. Now, this has an error in it as well. A piece of fabric fell down in the die before it was stamped, and it was stamped through the fabric. Now, once the coin was stamped, the cloth fell out and it left a spot on the coin where there's no design. This is very rare for a proof. It's a modern coin again, but this is something that is out there that can turn up. $675. Here's another interesting error. Now, I'm not even sure what error this would be. Maybe the planchet itself was damaged or missing some sections, or it wasn't rolled out correctly or something. Either way, this one went for $600. There's new ones turning up right now, new errors in the quarters, in the nickels and pennies. So if you're diligent and you're out there looking, you can find these, I promise you. Here's one example of the Susan B. Anthony struck on a quarter. Again, it's something that's out there. Many of these are known issues. As I said, there's tons of books that talk about each specific issue. They even give you some quantities of the ones that are slabbed in some of these books, as well as you can go online and check the sites who slabbed them as to how many are out there. Now here's a bicentennial quarter. Many people think there's no value in any bicentennial quarters. They were mass produced. Now they're not really collectible unless it's an error, or say it's a silver one, a 90% silver 1976 quarter. Now this one has an error. It's double dyed, so you'll see an echo of some of the printing on it as well. I check every coin. I check every single coin that comes through my hands, every single time. This is a quick almost $500 for whoever found this coin. Quick, easy. It costs them probably a quarter. With stuff like this, it doesn't cost you anything. And if you're wrong about it, all you do is use it. You spend it like money. You're out nothing digging into coins whatsoever. Now here's a really interesting one. This is a double struck one. These do turn up out in the wild, but you really have to buy like a mint bag of some sort to find this sort. They're not going to show up in rolled coins, obviously, because you can't roll this. But they do turn up. I found pennies and other ones that have issues like this in circulation occasionally also. So they go for some good money either way. $449. Now here's a double stamped New Hampshire state quarter. Same basic principle we just saw. It's not off-centered as far. This is only 30% off. This is an interesting one. This one is something that could turn up because it's not that far out of round. Either way, $445 for this fine example. Now here's a 1990 quarter that's double dyed. Now they don't have it in the title, but it's most assuredly double dyed. Now if you look on their image like the U or the N on here, you can see a double line to the left of the actual imprinted U. That is the double dye. It was stamped basically twice. It's very easy to tell in this one. This is basically what you are looking for. And one more wrong Planchet here. This is a 1996 quarter struck on a nickel. Now this one's similar in color, so this one could be missed by someone, but it's actually lighter. The weight's wrong. The overall size, though, is slightly smaller than a quarter. Now the best part about coins is that anybody has the opportunity to find these. There's no big, huge secret on where to get coins at. There's no sourcing needed. You can go to a bank and get them even if you want and go straight to a bigger source instead of getting pocket change. Bank many times can be very useful. We pull out 90% silver out of dimes, quarters, and half-dollar boxes from the bank all the time. Sometimes we've pulled out dozens out of one box. It's very rare, but it does happen. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
chocolate cookie dunker, a creamy milk muncher with O-R-E-O. Oreo action, Oreo action. Twister, dunker, whatever your attraction. Want your Oreo action with O-R-E-O.